Good morning and welcome. This is your daily reading. These are timeless readings, so when you come across them, they will be when you need to probably see them the most. And the energy that we're talking about in the reading is current within the few days. Sometimes when I read out, it's a little bit longer, but we'll get there. So I'm going to use the light Seer today, and I hope everyone's doing fantastic. Let's get started. See what's going on. Okay. Okay, let's see what it is. So we've got current situation, Queen of Swords. Man, she's contemplating. Present influence is the Two of Pentacles. Future influence is the Three of Swords. Unexpected, Four of Swords. Let's upside down. Challenge, Four of Pentacles. 2, 3, 4. Strength, Nine of Wands. Resilience. And where does this lead? King of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and Eight of Pentacles. That's, Fool. Fool's at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like, yeah, definitely this is some kind of new journey. You've kind of jumped in. You've said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to not think too much about it. However, I am in a thinking place right now. That's your energy. So the Queen of Swords is saying, in the current situation, you're really contemplating something, really figuring out. She's really got her mind into it, making plans, figuring things out. So I do feel like with the Two of Pentacles being in the present influence, this is what's causing that. The Two of Pentacles, you may feel a little bit like you need to restructure or balance what's happening in your day-to-day. To if there's anything new that you're trying to start here with the Fool at the bottom of the deck, this is you going, okay, wait a minute. I started this. I got to pull back a little bit. I want to make sure that I stay true to not only what I'm trying to do that's new, but also, moving forward or, with my day-to-day, everyday stuff, and to not get too, the Queen of Swords feels like a pullback to me, and not in a bad way though, because she's definitely a thinker and a planner. So she's going to be in her head a little bit and going, I need to make these decisions and I need to figure this out and I need to make sure I'm going in the right direction. And the Two of Pentacles, again, being in that influences, how do I keep everything balanced, within whatever you're doing and the other pieces of your life, the day-to-day pieces of your life. So let's look at the Two of Pentacles first. Tell me about these Two of Pentacles. I'm using the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot for clarifying. So what is the Two of Pentacles, please? So we've got Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and the Emperor. Yeah, I mean, definitely, the figuring it out, the piece, the Seven of Pentacles, I see this a lot as, planting a garden, trying to figure things out. But with the Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups with the Emperor is, okay, I want structure. I want to build this. But the Queen of Cups is that, but I got to do it with love and, a little bit less structured feeling. So I do feel like that's balancing that out. And while you're doing these things, so the Seven of Pentacles, while you're doing these things, I really need to make sure that I'm building a structure and doing it with love and doing the things I love as well. So there is that definite Queen of Swords trying to do this the right way. Tell me more about the Queen of Swords. Let's see if we can get anything more about that. Tell me about the Queen of Swords. Yeah, Ace of Wands, 10 of Cups, 6 of Cups. I feel like with this new endeavor with the Ace of Wands and trying to kind of collectively look at all of I feel like this is looking at all of the things you love. If you look at the card, and this is a Rider-Waite type art, is all of these cups are above. And I just got the feeling of, I want to have all of these things, and jumping in. The Six of Cups, so I feel like is that reminder from the past that if you jump all in and you try to do everything at once, it may be a little bit hard. So really maybe that's why you're restructuring it. You want to really achieve all the goals that you have set, but you're really going, okay, I really need to make sure though that I keep that balance. And not that everything's not attainable, okay? So it's not saying that the Ten of Cups is not obtainable. It absolutely is. But you're looking at the past and saying, when I've done certain things in the past, it hasn't quite worked out. And that Queen of Swords is you thinking things through, which I think is awesome. So then we have the Three of Swords and the future influence. Yeah, there's a letdown here. Three of Swords is a lot about sadness. It's a hard card for sure. It also can be separation. So it can be feeling like you're separating yourself. There's something here about missing. I feel like there's something like either that's missing or that you're missing. Let's see what that is. What is the Three of Swords, please? What is the Three of Swords? Knight of Swords, the wheel with the Page of Swords. I think like I feel like the Knight of Swords is a really fast energy. And the wheel is that things are moving away from this Knight of Swords. When I look at the cards, the Knight of Swords is going away from the wheel. And the Page of Swords is kind of that protection kind of thing. But I feel like there's some kind of sadness that you could be. I feel like you might be feeling like time's moving by really fast. And it's almost like I got to get back my time. The protector of the Page of Swords, I feel like the Page of Swords can be protecting in a way. And I feel like you might be feeling like, okay, I want all of this. And if I try to do it slowly, we'll be able to do it. So there's a feeling here in the next few days of time's moving too fast. And can I get this all done? And it's almost like you're losing time, which you're not. Okay, sometimes we can feel that way, that time's running out. And we can feel that way if there is some kind of, time restraint, that you have to get something done by the end of the month, or, where you literally have a deadline. But this can also just be, and in those cases, yeah, time can be getting away. Like you might have to like buckle down and do some work, but that's short lived. That doesn't feel like Two of Pentacles energy to me. Sometimes we have to put more energy from time to time into one part of our life for these deadlines, for these things that we have to get done. But that's why this feels more like you just feel like time's running out. It's not like on a specific, you know, um, time frame. It's like in general. And that comes from something like getting away from you with that Knight of Swords. The Page of Swords, though, I think is good in the respect that it can protect you from that. I feel like a lot of times when I see the Page of Swords, he's in front of somebody or something. Sorry, not usually somebody, but something, and protecting it. It almost feels like on guard. So I feel like you might have to let go a little bit of the on guard. The cool thing is, though, to have, even though the Three of Swords is in the future influence, it's followed right away by the Four of Swords in the unexpected. So I do feel like you are going to give yourself a break here. Tell me more about this Four of Swords. Tell me about the Four of Swords and the unexpected. You're going to be able to give yourself a break for sure. Four of Swords. Five of Wands. There's that Queen of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, this is you absolutely understanding. So taking that break, Four of Swords is a break. Did I show the card? I'm not sure if I did. That conflict here, the conflict that's going on up in your mind a little bit. And then you have the Queen of Swords back. I got to get this right because you want more for yourself. I feel like this is, you understand that you need to, I feel like this is almost saying don't be hard on yourself. Like the Four of Swords is you unexpectedly get an energy of, I am not going to be hard on myself. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be hard on myself. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break here. And I think that comes in, honestly, with Queen of Swords, understanding what you need to do. Nine of Pentacles, actually having that goal in mind. And I think that and it actually does work for you, because this all leads to the King of Pentacles, which I think is super good. So, the Four of Pentacles, when I see it in a challenge or in a hard position, which a challenge is a hard position, I think it's about holding on to too much, like not wanting to let something go. There's something here that could keep you from moving forward because you don't want to let it go. So it could be something as simple as, something that you do on the day to day that you're not willing to give up, but it's something that's really not serving any purpose for you. Is it doing anything good for you? But it's something that you just think you enjoy. I want to use that because I know, like, sometimes, I like to have a glass of wine or something in the evening, but it doesn't always serve me, because sometimes I have two glasses and then I don't wake up as in, quite the spirited, way. I kind of am dragging a little bit, or the calories or whatever, I can name all a bunch of things that, but I enjoy it. So, it's something that I hold on to, that maybe sometimes it's okay to let go of a little bit. That's the kind of thing I'm saying. Not holding on to something that's truly important, like taking care of your kids, not that, like holding on to something that you enjoy, but is it always the best thing for you at it, on any given day? And then that's the kind of thing that you might want to look at. Is it holding you back? And if that's the case, take a look. Can I, lessen or remove it completely? Sometimes you have to do that. We have the Nine of Wands in the Strength, which is really good. It's just a reminder, and we all need to hear it sometimes, where you've got this, you can do this, you have the will to do this, you have the strength to do this, you have the tenacity to do this. The Nine of Wands is that Wounded Warrior card, and you can feel really tired and have that, can I do this? Well, the card is saying, yes, you can. It's in the strength position. And it almost, for some of you, may even be, I do best when I'm under pressure. And so keep that in mind too, if you're one of those, because some people do. That's when their adrenaline pumps, and that's when they can really get stuff done, is when they're kind of under pressure. But for some of you, it's just having that tenacity. I will get it done. Yes, it's hard. Yes, I can do it. And that's good to have in your strength. Absolutely. It's really good. I'm not going to say things are easy. Things are never easy when we're trying something new, because we do have, it goes to the King of Pentacles, to the Five of Cups. I'm going to clarify the King of Pentacles, because I want to see if this is someone or you. So just a sec. Sometimes, I almost feel like it's someone. So let's take a look at this King of Pentacles really quick. What is this King of Pentacles? Okay, here, Wheel again, Nine of Cups, Queen of Wands. Now, I think this is you coming to the understanding that time, you can reach your goals. You're not running out of time. This is a more simplified, better look at the wheel to the Nine of Cups, in time. And if I do this right, I can reach my goals. And I feel like this is part of the goal, is the Queen of Wands, which is, kind of a spark, having that spark, having that passion back, having passion about something, whatever this new journey that you're on with the Fool is, you'll get there. The King of Pentacles also reminds us that there's a maturity to the king, of course, because he's king, but to know that, okay, I'm mature enough. I've got the knowledge. I've got the backbone. I've got all of the things to do this. And time is not really getting away from me. Sometimes things just take time to reach those goals, to reach those desires. Now, it does lead to the Five of Cups. Again, this is fleeting because it goes right into the Eight of Pentacles. So there'll be a point where you get a little bit disappointed. I think that's anytime we're starting something new. We get really excited, and then we kind of go, oh, this is going to be hard. And that can be the Nine of Wands, right? It's going to be hard. And there could be a disappointment come through. What is this Five of Cups? What is this disappointment? The important thing with the Five of Cups is to not focus on it. You know, we always focus on what was taken away or what we feel was taken away or what we don't feel like met our standards. Those are, you know, when we set expectations and they're not met, then we can get disappointed. Well, don't focus on that. Focus on what you can do. Focus on what you still have in front of you or behind you. In this case with the Five of Cups. Tell me more about this Five of Cups. Eight of Swords, Two of Cups, the Fool. You're worried about, I feel like there's a stuck feeling, and you feel like that I feel like you might be disappointed in a relationship, and I don't feel like it's necessarily strictly with this situation, but there's a disappointment that comes through. But what I feel like it does do is gives you the opportunity to really dig into the Fool energy again, going back to what's on the bottom of the deck to hear the Fool, you know, yeah, this is like a disappointment, and maybe I feel like a stuck energy with a partner, a friend, a lover. And I feel that way maybe because I almost feel like there's this moving in a different direction. If it's a partner, lover, and you feel like you're moving in a different direction than they are, then that's just something that needs to be handled separately. You know, that's different. If it's just, you know, meeting my, you know, relationships of myself, I'm kind of stuck because I feel like I don't. It's almost like you feel like you're stuck because you're missing somebody or something. I think some of you might be exactly that. Like, I feel like that's really a lot, some of you. Like, you're missing somebody in your life. So, but I don't feel like it's a current thing. I feel like it might be more. But I do feel like there's also, what do you have behind you is the Fool. That there is new, there is something that you can absolutely get excited about, and it's dive into that energy. Don't worry about what's missing from the past. It's like it's almost something, my intuition and my gut and what the messages I'm receiving, it's like someone from the past that suddenly comes into your heart space, and then you kind of get disappointed. It's like, okay, I'm excited, I'm getting there, the King of Pentacles, but it's like you almost feel like you don't have anyone to share it with, or the person that you want to share with is no longer around. That's the gut, but that's not everybody. Take that as it resonates. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles after that. So 3 down, you're going to continue to work on it. You're going to you understand that whatever this is, there is the ebbs and flows. There is the hards and the goods. There's, you know, both to it. But anytime something's worth doing, it's going to be hard. And I think that you do really dig in with the Eight of Pentacles. I am going to get this. I'm going to get it right. And I'm going to do it. There's no two ways about it. Like, I'm really going to get into this and really, you know, allow myself to shine and be really good at it, whatever this energy is. Now, again, even if this is not a skill that you're working on, it's still something that really takes, you know, time. And when I say time, I'm going to, okay, let's say you're trying to work. I use it a lot, the losing weight thing, because it's easy for me to identify with. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. So you really need to stick with it and stay on top of it and allow, you know, the weight to come off gradually. And that's hard because you know that you're reaching little, and you've got to set little goals along the way. Don't have over expectations so that you can meet them regularly and continue to work on it. And that can also be the Eight of Pentacles. So those type of things that we work on, it's not just like, I'm going to learn how to read tarot. That's a big goal. And then you focus and you study, right? This could be that, or it can be those little things where I really need to focus on it and work through it. Anything more about the Eight of Pentacles? Ace of Cups, the Fool. Yeah, this is a whole new beginning. This feels good. Ace of Cups to the Fool. Oh, come on, like you can't get better than that. Really, something that's really, coming from heart and something new that you really love and you can really dive into it. And it allows you to be free. This third time the Fools come up, bottom of the deck, and 2 clarifiers. And then the Three of Cups, actually celebrating. It's almost like a graduation. Could be not, but it could be like reaching some goals and you're really going to be able to celebrate. But I think the most important thing here with this Eight of Pentacles and these clarifiers is that you're going to understand that when I reach my goals, it's going to make a huge difference in my life. You can't, I mean, these are really beautiful cards. Ace of Cups, the Fool. I really need something I love. I'm going to dive into this and I'm going to allow myself to celebrate. And there could be people around you that you're working through this with, project, school, anything, but there could be, for some of you, other people that are doing the same thing. And that kind of feels good too, right? When you can share that with other people and share the day to day of working through this with other people, it's really awesome energy. So, is there anything? I didn't pull an advice card. Let's do an advice. What is our advice for today? Oh, Hangman. I want to say, like, be careful of staying in Hangman too long. It is an advice card, but sometimes when we stay in that position too long, that we lose sight as well. It could be, we can use the Hangman as an excuse to, okay, I'm going to look at things differently. How am I going to do this? And that's good. Take the time that you need to say, I'm going to revamp this. But at the same time, don't allow yourself to get in that Hangman and use it as an excuse to not move. Because again, the Hangman is a card that we put ourselves into a rest mode, but it's not a non-active rest, it's an active rest. So the idea of the Hangman is to use time to take a step back and say, how can I look at this differently? What's some new insights? Give myself a break so I can, kind of jumble things up and then put them back together. But sometimes it's really easy as well to go, I'm going to take a step back and then to not continue. So it's a really fine line when we use the Hangman as advice. Yeah, take that new look, but at the same time, don't use it as an excuse to not move forward. So when you're stuck, Eight of Swords, we had that Five of Cups. Yeah, it's a really a grand thing to take a look at something differently. But again, don't 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 allow the Hangman to use as a fear-based, um, you know, excuse. So allow it to go. So there you have your reading for today. I hope you liked it. Please hit that thumbs up button. It does help. And I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day.